Now there's been a lot of chatter about some shocking tapes involving Diddy, and it's seeming like things is getting messier by the day somebody even reached out to a lawyer asking for some help in selling one of these tapes, and the contents is wild, all right. So let's be clear, this isn't the first time the Diddy's name has been dragged into scandalous territory, but what's making the rounds now is nothing short of jaw-dropping. Now you might have heard about a recent accuser bringing up some serious allegations against Diddy, but what's even more unexpected is a Beyonce's name is starting to get pulled into the drama even though there's no solid proof against her. Her name keeps popping up in conversations, it seems like, just because her husband Jay-Z is known to be close friends with Diddy. Folks on the internet is speculating left and right and center that Beyonce must know something, and with social media being what it is, this kind of rumor is spreading like wildfire. Yeah, things took an even more dramatic turn when whispers started about a certain tape that is allegedly being shopped around in media circles. Now this ain't just any tape, though it supposedly got footage of Diddy and Beyonce, and media outlets are apparently bidding millions to get their hands on it. Rumors got it the TMZ is one of the highest bidders right now. Now this tape is said to be explosive, and if it ever gets out, then it could cause a huge storm for all of celebrities involved, and trust me, the list of names being thrown around ain't small. A batch of photos from one of these notorious Fr3koffs parties leaked a couple days ago, and they've already got people buzzing. The photo shows several big-name celebrities in some pretty compromising situations. In one image, Diddy is seen pouring champagne on two people while they're getting a little too comfortable for his entertainment. Another photo shows one of Diddy's friends in a pool getting quite intimate with two escorts. Now, let's just say that it wasn't a PG-rated moment, and if y'all think that's wild, well, hold on to your hat, because these photos feature some of Hollywood's biggest names. We're talking about the likes of Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Chris Brown, Leonardo DiCaprio, and more. There's even talk to politicians like Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and British royalty like Prince Harry was somehow caught up in all this. Now the internet, as expected, went crazy over these pictures, but according to
You've said that you've been contacted regarding the sale of one of the Diddy Fr3koffs tapes, and that it features a very high-profile celebrity. What can you tell us about that?
So actually, I recently was contacted by one of my business partners who's also an attorney, who said to me, well, why are we not writing the demand letter to try to do the catch and kill? And I said, well, if you want to do it, then I'll connect you and you can essentially do it. He was also concerned about wanting to protect the other person who was in the film, mainly because I've known about this for about 3.5 weeks to about a month. I've been communicating with these people who purport to have that videotape. And it wasn't until Thursday night that they outright said, can you write on your letterhead a letter to the individual who's also in the tape and see if they're interested in a catch and kill? And is that something, we'll give you X amount of percentage of it. And at the time I was like, I don't think I want to be involved in this, but I hadn't had time to process. But the other attorney I'm speaking of, he's pretty much been in the know the entire time since I first got contacted by these individuals with the tape. And we're pursuing now a meeting with the three of us for us to broker, I guess, a situation where we'll have certain guarantees that once we make the representations to the person in the tape, that we have some level of assurances that this is a valid tape.
And just to be clear, two thoughts about this. One, is it a household name that we're talking about here? And secondly, are they engaged in any criminality from what you understand?
Household name, very much so. More of a household name than Mr. Combs.
Wow,
and
really?
Criminality, they are engaged in pornography. They're not doing anything illegal per se. I can't say that well, I'll say this. My concern was that I could not verify the age of the individual. And so that was my concern about not having anything sent to me and viewing it in the way that I did via stills, via FaceTime video. So I didn't want to have anything in my phone because My issue is we can't determine if this person is 17 to 21.
Person is 17 to 21. So how did this whole mess come to light now? It all started when a lawyer named Ariel Mitchell appeared in an interview dropping some bombshell revelations. Well, she's currently representing a new client who was suing Diddy for some very serious accusations. Now the client claims that she met Diddy in 2018 at a friend's house after having a few drinks she says was spiked by Diddy. She began to feel sick and eventually passed out. What she says happened next is disturbing. Diddy allegedly assaulted her with an object and then instructed another man who was there to assault her as well, while he watched and pleased himself. Now even worse, Diddy's assistant Christina Karam was reportedly present in the room during it. The whole ordeal, according to Ariel, this client escaped by regaining consciousness and running out of the house screaming for help. A neighbor heard her cries to took her in, calling the police. However, despite filing a police report, it seems like nothing was ever done. The police, it appears, were not too eager to pursue the case, and many believe that this was because Diddy had the power to make things disappear. Now, it ain't the first time that we heard about powerful figures paying off officials to cover up some shady dealings, and this whole case sounds eerily similar now. What's particularly troubling is that Diddy wasn't just some random celebrity at the time. He was still riding high in his career, a major figure in the music industry, so it's pretty understandable that this young woman from Northern California didn't feel like she stood a chance against somebody with that kind of influence. She didn't go public with her story, didn't hire a lawyer right away, and didn't push for a thorough investigation, hoping that the police would take care of it. Sadly, it seems like they brushed her off, which is something that we hear about all too often in cases involving victims who are up against powerful men. And this brings us to an even bigger issue: the way victims, especially women, is often treated when they report such crimes. Ariel made a point in an interview about how many victims hesitate to go to the police because they feel like they won't be believed or protected. In many cases, police officers, who are typically men, don't take these kind of accusations seriously. Instead of investigating, they might dismiss the claims, making victims feel like there ain't no point in coming forward at all. It's a vicious cycle that needs to change, but it's pretty clear from this story that we still got a long way to go. All right, back to the real shocker. This attorney also mentioned that someone reached out to her to represent them in the sale of one of these infamous tapes involving.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know,
right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put it into perspective of the type of company I was in
right.
at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope. That was super dope.
You know, Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know, and she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to Beyonce. Cut it out, but I'm a big fan of your work. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope. That was super dope. Ariel didn't explicitly say who the celebrity of the tape was, but based on the way that the rumors have been flying, a lot of people are speculating that it's Beyonce now. This isn't the first time people have speculated about her connection to Diddy, especially after that viral video surfaced with rapper DaBaby spilling some tea of his own. In the video, DaBaby talked about a time when he was invited to Diddy's house for what seemed like a very private meeting. According to him, Beyonce was there too, and a whole situation got a little weird. Now, he said Beyonce came up to introduce herself in a way that made it seem like she might have been interested in more than just a friendly chat the baby even hinted that things could have. Turned into one of Diddy's infamous Fr3koffs, especially since Diddy had cleared the room, leaving only a few people including Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the baby behind the baby went on to say that Diddy seemed to take a particularly liking to him and even got a bit touchy. He described how did Diddy put his arm around him in a way that made him feel uncomfortable, but he didn't go into too much detail beyond that. Whether this was just some awkward party moment or something more, it definitely raised a few eyebrows, especially when y'all consider all the other stories that have been coming out about Diddy's parties, with all these rumors swirling. Well, it ain't no wonder that people are speculating that Beyonce could be the other person in the tape with Diddy now. The idea that she could have been caught up in something like this is kind of shocking, especially given her carefully crafted public image. But again, there ain't no hard evidence linking her to any of this, just speculation at this point. Still, the fact that these rumors have gotten as far as they have is a testament to just how powerful and damaging gossip can be, especially in the age of social media now, while the internet has been on fire. With these rumors, let's not forget that these are all just allegations till concrete evidence surfaces. It's important to take everything with a grain of salt. But if this tape does exist and gets released, then it could change everything. The public reaction could be massive, and the fallout for those involved could be severe. For now, Diddy continues to face mounting legal troubles. His name has been dragged through the mud in recent months, and the latest lawsuit against him is just one of many that is surfaced as more details come out. It's becoming harder for him to maintain his public persona as the successful mogul who can do no wrong. The accusations against the mere serious, and they paint a very different picture of the man who has long been a fixture in the entertainment world. And as for Beyonce, her name being linked to the scandals, definitely a blow to her image. She's always been careful about keeping her personal life private, and her relationship with Jay-Z has been under public scrutiny for years. The idea that she could be tied to something as sordid as this tape is kind of shocking to of her fans, who have long seen her as a role model. Whether these rumors is true or not, they're already starting to cause damage, and it remains to be seen how she and her team's going to respond. The Grammy goes to Lizzo for about that, She knows Beyonce, you changed my life. You saying that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music, so thank you so much. You clearly are the artist of our lives, a artist of my life. Is Beyonce in this album for me? We appreciate that, and all us artists here, we adore you. You are our light, and I love you. I always have, and I always will. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. And that's not all on Beyonce, by the way. Now that there's a target on her back, people has started doing their research, and what they're finding out is horrifying. There's a hierarchy in Hollywood, and you're not supposed to cross certain people. Every woman who won a Grammy tried to protect herself from Beyonce. I'll remember when Kanye jumped in that one time. Taylor Swift didn't thank Beyonce for her Grammy. Yeah, it turns out he was just trying to save that or white girl from the underworld. But back to the situation involving Diddy and the possibility of a tape of Beyonce. It ain't just the usual tabloid fode. It's a story with a potential to shake up the industry in a big way. If this tape gets out, it can spell disaster for everybody involved. And the public's reaction is going to be something to watch. But as of now, all we can do is wait. The rumors is flying, the allegations are piling up, and the world is watching to see what happens next. Will the tape ever see the light of day? Only time going to know.